There is a basic rule in professional sports that players almost never break. Athletes can argue with referees, show frustration after a bad call, and even accept fines for their actions, but directly naming an official in public is considered a line that is rarely crossed. However, situations can reach a point where emotions boil over, and many WNBA fans now believe that may be exactly what happened with Caitlin Clark. The rookie star, who has helped the league reach new levels of popularity through record-breaking television ratings, packed arenas, and massive merchandise sales, recently found herself at the center of a major controversy. Instead of simply criticizing a decision made during the game, Clark openly identified a referee by name while speaking to the media, a move that immediately grabbed attention across the basketball world. The discussion intensified when she addressed a technical foul that had been issued after what appeared to be a sarcastic clap, leading many fans and analysts to question whether the punishment fit the action. The moment quickly spread across social media platforms, sports talk shows, and television networks, creating a nationwide debate about officiating standards and player treatment. Some observers believe this is simply part of a young player learning how to navigate the professional game, while others argue that Clark is facing a different level of scrutiny because of her enormous influence and popularity. To fully understand the significance of the controversy, it is important to recognize the position in which the WNBA now finds itself. The league has always been known for its physical style of play, and veteran players have traditionally welcomed rookies with a tough introduction to the professional level. Yet the focus of this debate is not the physical contact on the court. Instead, it centers on officiating decisions and what many fans perceive as inconsistency in the way certain calls are made. Clark has shown frustration with referees before, but she has also been willing to admit when she deserved a technical foul and take responsibility for her actions. This situation, however, felt different to many supporters because there was no aggressive confrontation, no physical altercation, and no profanity directed toward an official. It was simply a brief display of emotion during a competitive moment, but the reaction that followed turned it into one of the biggest stories surrounding the league. As the debate continues to grow, many people are watching closely to see how the WNBA responds, knowing that the outcome could influence not only Clark's future relationship with league officials, but also the broader conversation about fairness, consistency, and the treatment of the sport's biggest stars.
Talking about. Boom, she sees him. Clap, 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 clap. That's it. That's what she got a technical foul for. Caitlin Clark.
A simple clap was all it took for the whistle to sound and a technical foul to be called. For many fans watching the game, the moment sparked a larger conversation about the nature of competition and the way emotion is viewed in professional sports. Athletes are constantly celebrated for their passion, intensity, and desire to win. Sports leagues have built entire eras around players whose fiery personalities became part of their legacy. Competitors like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Kevin Garnett were admired for the emotion they brought to the court. Because of that, many observers find themselves questioning why similar competitive fire from the biggest star in women's basketball is met with immediate punishment. The situation has led analysts and fans alike to ask what the league truly expects from Caitlin Clark. Should she simply remain quiet, avoid showing emotion, and focus only on scoring points? Or should she embrace the fierce competitive spirit that has helped make her one of the most popular players in the sport? The message many people are receiving feels inconsistent. Clark's passion is one of the reasons fans connect with her, yet moments of visible frustration often become major controversies. Following the game, she appeared to reach a point where she no longer wanted to remain silent about the issue. After the final buzzer sounded, Clark entered the press conference room, took her seat in front of the media, and seemed ready to speak openly about what had happened. Rather than avoiding the subject, she appeared determined to address the growing concerns surrounding the officiating decisions and provide her perspective on a situation that had already become one of the most talked about topics in basketball.
Ridiculous. I got a technical for clapping. So if we should all just go on the calendar now and pick a game that I'm going to be suspended for if I'm going to get technicals for clapping. I asked Gerda. Gerda said that I got a technical for clapping.
Gerda!
So If any technical should be taken away, it should be that one. If it's truly for clapping, that's what they said they gave it to me for was for clapping. So it's just ridiculous. I don't understand it at all.
So even within that, though, how aware do you have to be of the...
When Caitlin Clark said, "I asked Goethe," it immediately caught the attention of everyone listening. In the world of professional sports officiating, referees are rarely identified by name in public discussions. Most players and fans simply refer to them as officials or referees, allowing a level of anonymity that often protects them from becoming the center of controversy. By specifically naming Goethe, Clark broke from that tradition and shifted the spotlight directly onto the person responsible for the call. The statement transformed a routine complaint about officiating into a much larger conversation. Rather than speaking in general terms, she effectively encouraged fans to examine the situation for themselves, review the play, and decide whether the decision was justified. It represented a significant change in approach and demonstrated a willingness to publicly challenge a system that many believe is rarely questioned so directly. Clark also understands the risks involved. She is well aware that technical fouls accumulate throughout the season and that reaching the limit can result in an automatic suspension. With her total already approaching that threshold, many expected her to become more cautious and avoid further controversy. Instead, her comments suggested the opposite. Rather than retreating from the spotlight, she appeared prepared to continue speaking her mind despite the potential consequences. To many observers, it looked like a player who was no longer concerned about avoiding conflict and was willing to stand her ground, even with the possibility of disciplinary action hanging over her.
The league can come back and review that play, and I'd love to hear what they say of the reasoning of why I got the technical foul in that situation and why other players on their team didn't get a technical foul in that situation. If anything, split it. Okay, fine. Everybody gets a technical foul. That wasn't how they were handed out. So I'd love to know. But obviously, that's what I went to Gerda and said. I said, why'd you give me a technical foul? She said, because I was clapping and instigating. I said, okay, then you just don't like competitive basketball.
Damn.
And that's just facts. That's just reality. So disappointing from them.
Damn, she made sure.
The comments quickly became one of the most talked about moments surrounding the league. What made the statement so powerful was that it went beyond criticism of a single referee and instead challenged the broader culture of officiating. Many fans and analysts began debating whether certain officiating decisions are negatively affecting the quality of the game and whether players are being discouraged from displaying the passion and competitiveness that fans love to watch. The discussion also raised questions about the message being sent to young athletes who look up to professional players. If visible emotion and competitive intensity are punished too harshly, some wonder whether the sport risks losing part of what makes it exciting. However, the controversy extends beyond Caitlin Clark alone. To understand the growing tension surrounding the team, attention has also turned toward the role of leadership. Throughout basketball history, there has been an unwritten expectation that when a star player feels unfairly treated, the head coach steps forward to defend that player publicly. Coaches have often accepted criticism, fines, and media scrutiny in order to protect their athletes and strengthen trust within the team. It is a tradition that many believe helps build unity and confidence inside the locker room. As a result, some Fever supporters have started questioning whether the team's leadership has been aggressive enough in defending its biggest star. Following recent games, many observers noticed a sharp contrast between Clark's direct and emotional comments and the more measured, careful approach taken by head coach Stephanie White. That difference in tone has become another major topic of discussion, with fans debating whether a stronger public defense of the team's star player is needed as the season continues.
While Stephanie White is busy scared in the press conference, I don't want to say anything, Caitlin Clark saying, nope, I'm going to speak about it. While Stephanie White isn't even saying DeWanna Bonner or Alyssa Thomas's name in the press conference, sticking up for her players, Stephanie White, all you had to do in the press conference was say, hey, the players...
The situation has left many observers questioning whether there is a gap between the messages coming from different parts of the organization. On one side stands Caitlin Clark, who appears willing to accept criticism, challenge controversial decisions, and even risk disciplinary action in order to speak out about what she believes is unfair treatment. On the other side, the coaching staff has generally taken a more cautious approach, avoiding strong public statements regarding officiating concerns and the physical style of play directed toward their team. This contrast has sparked debate among fans and analysts alike. Some believe the silence is intentional, a calculated strategy designed to avoid conflict with league officials and maintain a professional relationship with the league office. Others argue that the circumstances surrounding the Indiana Fever are unlike anything the franchise has experienced before and require a more aggressive response. Regardless of the reasoning, the public perception remains significant. Many people feel that Clark often finds herself answering difficult questions and defending her position without much visible support during media appearances. However, the story on the court appears to be evolving in a different direction. One of the most interesting developments has been the growing conversation about team chemistry and locker room unity. Earlier in the season, critics frequently claimed that Clark was being left to deal with hard fouls and physical play on her own, creating the impression that she lacked strong support from her teammates. Recently, however, that narrative has begun to change. More players seem willing to stand up for one another, and there is a growing belief among supporters that if officials are unable to fully control the intensity of certain... A key figure frequently mentioned in these discussions is Miesha Hines-Allen, whose presence has become part of the broader conversation about leadership, toughness, and team support within the Fever locker room.
Directly or specific words, but I don't know. I appreciate having my back. It's nice to have a teammate like that that's always going to go to battle for their teammates. And, I thought we did a good job of refocusing and trying to...
Whenever games became physical and tensions started to rise, Miesha Hines-Allen showed a willingness to step in and respond to the challenge. Her presence was about more than a single moment or a single matchup. For many observers, it represented a growing change in the culture of the team. Every successful team benefits from experienced veterans who are prepared to stand up for their teammates and make it clear that intimidation will not partners, and securing significant television agreements with companies such as NBC Sports, http://www.nbcsports.com, source chatgpt.com, Peacock, http://www.peacocktv.com, source chatgpt.com, and Amazon Prime Video, http://www.primevideo.com, source chatgpt.com. Many fans believe a major reason for this surge in attention is the extraordinary interest generated by Caitlin Clark. Her games consistently attract large audiences, fill arenas, and create viral moments that reach far beyond traditional basketball fans. Because of that impact, supporters are increasingly asking what would happen if she were suspended during a nationally televised game. The question has become a major topic of debate, with many wondering how the league would handle a situation in which one of its biggest attractions missed a high-profile matchup because of an additional technical foul. The discussion highlights the unique position the league currently finds itself in, balancing competitive rules and discipline while also managing the influence of a player who has become one of the sport's most powerful attractions.
See how happy those media partners are if you suspend me on for a national TV game. See how happy Peacock is. See how happy NBC is. See how happy Amazon Prime is when you suspend the moneymaker. Ooh, damn. Damn. And folks, this is the clapping. This is the clap that we're talking about. Boom, she sees him.
The situation has created what many people view as it's throughout the season.